Hey guys, Red Panda Mining here. Hope you're doing well. Having a really great day this video. Alright, I wanted to finally make a dedicated video about my freaking 170HXs, which are currently running a 500 gigabyte model right now using Llama, or I guess it's called Kimi K2. I'm not quite sure all about all this different software, but thank you to Mr. Swamp7. He's been helping me test all these GPUs because of this new unlock that has come about for the CMP 170HX cards, as all of you have probably been hearing over the past couple days, okay? And it's quite insane what has transpired regarding these GPUs, and in terms of people, buying them. Also, the prices on eBay, which have been going up, and it's just insane because these GPUs, specifically the 8 gigabyte ones that we have here, are now unlocked at 64 gigabytes of VRAM. Okay, so normally they were at 8 gigabytes, but now with this CMP unlocker, they're now at 64, and they're able to run large language models for just inference jobs, and it's just incredible. Now there's a few caveats which I want to talk about in this video, and there's a bunch of things that I have been trying with these GPUs, with the server, and we've been finding out some new things as we've been testing. So I'm going to talk about all that right after today's video sponsor.
Enterprise AI is the biggest money story of the decade, and it's been closed to you until now. Terra Compute builds enterprise-grade dual EPYC GPU servers. After 3 years of R&D at their own data center, Terra Compute is now open for business. Hosted in their own data center at a former US military base in Indiana on a locked utility rate no marketplace can touch. You buy, we host, no monthly fees, we rent it to enterprise buyers who pay a premium, and you earn more than the regular platforms currently out there. If we don't rent it, we don't get paid. Write the whole purchase off with Section 179, and at the end of your contract, if you're not happy, we ship the server to your door. You own real hardware, real data center, fast deployment, real returns. Inquire through a special form, link in the video description below. Terra Compute, infrastructure as a service.
All right. Just an update. I know a lot of people that have been watching me already know that I have a good 60 CMP 170HXs that I have in boxes. You guys saw the other box I had, a bunch in there. But I'm planning on building a few more servers, and I'm going to, rent them out somehow. Okay, so this is let's just talk about, I guess, some of the issues here. I know a lot of people are buying these GPUs, and so I just wanted to give some disclaimer here. As of recording, things could change, but, so successfully, right, these can be run for large language modeling, and it seems to be working successfully, and there hasn't seemed to be any errors. They've been running flawlessly. Right now, these Gigabyte servers that I have these in are pretty good, so TDP of 250 watts, it's been perfect. But I know there is also a power unlock to go to 300 watts, and then this Gigabyte server does have a hard time cooling at 300 watts. So, if you decide to buy, if anyone's buying these for, anything, mining even, right? Of course, they're amazing for Pearl mining. I'm not gonna really talk about that. Mining, it's great. Everyone knows that already. There are unlocks for Wild Rig Miner, and I think a few other mining software out there where you don't need to do the unlock yourself, but you do need to install the specific driver for these cards. So let's just get into the weeds here. So I did do a live stream of setting this up. Okay, that was a fun live stream, building this server, as most of you have probably watched. And getting the 10 CMP 170HXs in here was great. It worked perfect, as you guys can see. They're all loaded. 47 gigabytes right now, VRAM. It's a 500 gig model spread across all 10 GPUs, okay? So GPU parallel is working across all the GPUs, and unfortunately it is going across one PCIe Gen 1 X4X. Okay, so this is one where I know a lot of people have some reservation, and yeah, so do I. So It is obviously a little bit slower, but once it is loaded onto the GPU, it's working perfectly. Now, is it going to be as fast as like an RTX 5090? Not so much, but actually Mr. IotaPie from Mr. Vipor.net put something out. He tweeted out that comparing a 170X to a 5090, it's about 2x slower. But because of the extra VRAM that these CMP 170HXs can go up to, like the 8GB cards can go up to 64 gig, like we have achieved here, is just incredible. Double the VRAM compared to a 32GB 5090. Now, it all depends though, you know, the type of modeling, you know, how big these the models are gonna be. We did try to run a bigger one. Mr. Swamp 7, I forgot what it was called. It wasn't called Kimi K2, but I think it was K3 or Q or something. We don't have enough disk space to test out. We were gonna test out like a 700 or 800 gigabyte model, but we ran out of space. So I need to make a NAS or add some more storage into this server so that we could test out that. I know I had a couple people ask me, Red Panda, can you test out this and that? So I'm gonna be adding more space into this server later on. Now, just quickly talking about, a lot of people are gonna ask, Red Panda, can you rent out these GPUs? Like, can you put this server on Vast.ai, you know, SimplePod or Chlor.ai? And as of right now, no. I did try to put it on Vast. I'll put it on the screen here, but unfortunately, because of the NVIDIA graphics cards ID, the naming scheme, because we are using the NVIDIA Open Driver, it's not able to show up as like, you know, an A100 or, you know, a CMP 170HX. Right now, it would just show like a question mark, unknown on Vast.ai. So it does not show up on Vast.ai. We've already tried. And yeah, so unfortunately that doesn't work on there. But I have been in contact with Chlor.ai and I'm working with them to getting it supported somehow. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be, you know, by device ID or something like that. But if Chlor.ai, you know, can give us the ability to put these GPUs on there, then, you know, then somebody could rent them out somehow. SimplePod, I did ask that if we could put 178Xs, actually a couple months ago. He said yes, but now that this, you know, this has come about, I don't know if he will allow us to, you know, compete against GPUs that have less VRAM, right? Because this is gonna be, like, this is gonna disrupt the GPU market, in my opinion, in some form or fashion. Maybe in a way it's gonna bring down the prices of other GPUs, probably not. But, you know, as you guys have been seeing on eBay, these GPUs, the CMP cards, even the 10 gigabyte cards, which I think the 10 gigabyte cards are gonna be less sought after. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. I haven't tested out a bunch of them. We did test one, which we were able to unlock to 40 gigabyte. Okay, so 40 gigabyte on a 10 gigabyte card, that was possible. 80 gigabyte, it wasn't stable. Okay, so the word here is stable. Okay, stability. And so far on the 10 8 gigabyte Hynix memory ones, okay, not the 10 gigabit Samsung memory ones, these have been a lot more stable at 64 gigs, okay, 64 gigabyte VRAM on each one. So yeah, it's definitely better in this regard. So anyway, back to the platforms. Yeah, none of the platforms support this rig, this GPUs, because we got a number of issues regarding the driver, the device ID, the naming scheme, all that stuff, and yeah, it's just not supported. So I am actively going to work with these platforms to get them on. Vast.ai, I don't think they're going to be able to support it. I haven't contacted anyone from Vast yet, but my guess is the answer is going to be no, because these aren't, you know, certified, you know, GPUs, and, you know, they've been hacked in a way, unlocked, you know, not real. So I don't think Vast.ai is going to support these. Don't quote me on that, but maybe one day. Who knows? Who knows? But for anyone that's running a local, you know, local LLM, just at home, or maybe if someone is renting it out privately, it works. Okay, you can load up your software and go to town, and it seems to work. Okay, for inference. So this is quite insane with the tensor cores unlocked, which I think is about, what, 480 or 500 tensor cores unlocked on this 170HX now, which is quite insane, right? Hence why on Pearl mining, these can get like, what, 160, 150 to 170 terahash at about 200 to 250 watts, which is very, very efficient. I think it beats out the 5090. We did the math. So the 170HX is now king in terms of GPU mining, okay, for Pearl currently, and then now it may be the next king for AI in a way. Now, just to go back, I forgot to mention, to go back to the PCIe Gen 1 X4X lane, there have been reports online, people have been able to mod soldering new capacitors, changing transistors, I don't know, something like that, to enable X16 lane. So I think that's possible, and I am in talks with somebody who can do that. So stay tuned. If that's possible, then these GPUs could essentially be an unlocked like A100 essentially, which is, you know, those GPUs go for over $10,000 right now. So if that's the case, and that, you know, that ability does come out, you know, wow, just wow. Some people who have these GPUs, like I do, you know, I'm trying to be humble about it, but man, I got real lucky with getting these GPUs. I have a whole story. I'm just going to quickly talk about it, but you know, I started off with 2 years ago. I traded a bunch of Caspa miners, ASICs, for like 100 and something 3070s. Then like a year or so later, those 3070s, I had the ability to trade them in for the CMP 100-210s. Okay, and most of you guys know I have CMP 170HXs, sorry, not 100-210s, CMP 170HXs. Oval Bore, rest in peace, my friend. We miss you so much, man. These octo miners that I have right now are filled with 170HXs, which I have been talking to the gentleman who is renting these, and he has heard of the unlock now. So he's running a simulation on these, and he said with his software, he thinks that the unlock really won't benefit him much. So it's like status quo right now, so we're just gonna keep it as is. But if things change, then we can apply the overclock, the unlocker, sorry, and try that. But for now, I do have a bunch of more CMP 170HXs. As you guys can see, I have a box of, I think, 24 in here. I have more here, and then those are all 8GB cards, and then I have 8 10GB cards here, so I am planning on making a 10GB, you know, CMP 170HX server and seeing if that will work, you know, for inference, and if we can unlock it to at least 40GB. Probably won't be stable at 80GB. So yeah, guys, just incredible. Just things that have transpired over the past couple years, are just the past 3 days actually. It's been wild. I haven't been able to get much sleep. And I've just been focusing on this right now, which, I mean, this is honestly revolutionary in a way that this is allowing for people that have these CMP 170HXs, maybe the 90HXs, maybe the CMP 100-210s will unlock sometime soon. Who knows? But for this to work like this for AI workloads, this is quite amazing. And so congratulations to everybody that has these GPUs, and I did put some on my website, redpandamining.shop. I already had a few people buy some. I know, you know, the price is high, and the price is probably going to keep going higher, but anyone that's going to run these, you know, for local AI, local LLM, doing it at home, this is quite amazing. Quite a GPU to having this much VRAM unlocked for inference. This is crazy. Okay, guys, that's it for this video. I will keep you updated. I know a lot of people want to figure out how to do all this stuff. There will be a package download soon for everyone that wants to get this working, but right now we're just, you know, it's just in testing at this moment. But if you're good at Linux, there's already a CMP unlocker already online. You can do it that way. There's many different drivers. You gotta download all the open NVIDIA drivers and do it that way. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, please put it down below. Let me know your thoughts if any of you guys have these GPUs, and if you've been testing them, let the people know. I love reading your comments. All right, I'll see you on the next one. Smash that like. Peace out. Peace out. Man, we're not using a lot of power right now. 41 watts, 40 watts per GPU. Look at that. Look at this. Look at the memory loaded on the GPUs. Isn't that crazy? 75%, 73%. 62%. CPU is not even being utilized that much. All right, peace out. Peace out.
Still storing your crypto on exchanges? That's risky. This is the Red Panda Tangent card. Simple, secure, and built for real self-custody. No seed phrases, no complicated setups. Just tap your card, manage your crypto, and you're in control instantly. Secure chip technology keeps your assets protected, even offline. I've tested a lot of hardware wallets, and this is by far one of the easiest ways to get started. If you want true ownership of your crypto, check out the Red Panda Tangem card below. Simple, secure, self-custody. Use code RPM for another 10% off. Link in the video description below.